So, Mr. President, this weekend, Americans face a health care crisis unprecedented in modern times. Open enrollment begins in just 2 days, and Republicans have spent the entire shutdown with their heads in the sand, the shutdown they caused because they would not negotiate with Democrats. Republicans are pretending that the ACA premium crisis does not exist, but they should go ask families who are getting their insurance premium increases today, tomorrow, Saturday. Republicans have brought Americans to the brink of financial disaster. They've ignored a growing catastrophe. We have demanded they act. They have refused, and the shutdown is on them. The health care crisis is on them, and the American people will see so this weekend as the bills start coming in. To show the breadth, depth, and severity of the ACA crisis, if the ACA enhanced premium tax credits expire, over 20 million Americans will see their premiums more than double on average. That's a 114% increase, according to KFF. That is a fact. 4 million people on ACA plans will lose health coverage entirely if these tax credits don't get extended. That is also a fact. If these enhanced tax credits expire, the people hurt by far the most, will be working families, people who live paycheck to paycheck, who small business owners, farmers, ranchers, older Americans. They're all going to be sitting at their kitchen table this Friday night or Sunday evening and saying, how the heck are we going to pay these bills? We can't afford $4,000 a year more for health insurance. Do my kids get no health care? Do we have to lose the doctors who've been treating us for a long time, or travel 50 or 100 miles to go to a clinic or a hospital? Are my parents going to be kicked out of their nursing home and I have no place to put them? This is a fact. People are hurt badly, probably than in any other healthcare crisis we've had. Americans who work more than one job, Americans who live in red states will all be hurt. That's a fact. And here's another one. This crisis didn't come out of the blue. It's not that people are just learning about it. It's not that senators are just learning about it this week. Democrats have demanded that Republican leaders negotiate with us about this crisis since the summer. Republicans said no. They put together a partisan bill that did nothing to improve the health care crisis, that had no input from Democrats, and said take it or leave it. Republicans had more than 3 chances this year to vote on extending these ACA premium tax credits as far back as February. What did Republicans say? No, no, and no. Today, Republicans still insist they will not move a muscle to fix ACA premiums until it's too late. They spent the entire shutdown avoiding talking about health care. And when that didn't work, they resorted to lying, just making up total lies about who gets the health care and who doesn't. And as they trigger a health care crisis, they're also now triggering a hunger crisis. Trump's doing that, halting SNAP benefits, ordering his own Department of Agriculture to rip its own contingency plan. The money's there, over $6 billion in emergency funds that could keep SNAP going, and Trump has said, don't spend a dime. We want to use hungry people as hostages in this crisis. Trump is a vindictive politician and a heartless man. Meanwhile, here in the Senate, this is still Leader Thune's position on the ACA. Let's deal with this House fire later, but the House is on fire. Republicans are living in fantasy, pretending as if the issue will fix itself. But starting November 1st, so many Americans are going to have to make choices. Do they give up their health care? Do they have to take a plan that has many higher deductibles and copays with different doctors in different hospitals and watch their families suffer when they're sick? That's what reality looks like for people back home. And yet our Republican colleagues do nothing. In Louisiana, the average 60-year-old couple making $85,000 a year on a middle-tier plan will see their premiums increase by $25,700. That's right. How does that family come up with $25,000? People in their 50s, they're looking for their retirement. What are they going to do? In South Dakota, that same couple on the same plan would see an average increase of $26,000. In Florida, it's an annual increase of $27,000. Republicans have brought the American people to the brink. Republicans have refused to do anything. They've sat in their hands, stuck their heads in the sand, and now families, millions of families from one end of America to the other, mostly actually in red states, face the specter of financial disaster. Because when health care costs go up, more people lose coverage, more people get sick, and more people die. Republicans just don't seem to care. Now on the China deal. In the middle of the second, In the middle of the second longest government shutdown in American history, Donald Trump left the country and traveled all the way to Asia to meet President Xi. And what did he do? He bowed down to President Xi. China has called Donald Trump's bluff, and Donald Trump has folded, leaving American families and farmers and small businesses to deal with the wreckage from his blunders, from his erratic, on-again, off-again tariff policies. Americans, beware. Trump will spend the next few days trying to spin the so-called agreement as a win for America. But that is total bull. Don't believe Trump. He has folded to China. Donald Trump caved to China in Busan. The so-called deal has left us no better off than we were before Donald Trump's trade war began. If anything, things are worse. Prices have gone up. China has agreed to nothing of substance that will improve trade between our nations. On soybeans, this has been a total capitulation. Donald Trump's trade war has decimated soybean farmers in the U.S., and this year, he's saying, isn't it great, they'll buy half the soybeans, China will, that they bought last year. So many farmers are suffering. And then so many other farmers are seeing that their Chinese customers who they sold soybeans are now making deals in Argentina and Brazil. And those are not one-year deals. Those could be 3, 4, 5-year deals. So the customers that Americans had are not coming back. China is still buying fewer soybeans this year from the U.S. than before China's trade war. How is that a win for soybean farmers? Trump's delusion is unbelievable. He starts a trade war, creates a giant mess for businesses, consumers, soybean farmers, and then he celebrates for trying to clean up the very mess he created in the first place. Don't believe Trump. Trump has folded on China. Don't believe his BS. He's created the mess. Now he's trying to clean up the mess, and he says, don't I deserve 17 pats on the back? Americans have heard this old song and dance from China and Trump before. I have long pushed presidents of both parties to take tougher action on China for its rapacious trade policies that have harmed American workers, American businesses. None, absolutely none, of the fundamental abuses by China are addressed in this agreement. Trump didn't even bother about talking about China's abuses against American manufacturing. He secured no clear actions from China to address their funneling of chemicals that fuel America's fentanyl crisis. In other words, he says we're doing something on fentanyl. There's nothing specific. A lot of lip service in fentanyl, that China makes those precursor chemicals that go to Mexico and then are made into fentanyl and flooding across our borders. Nothing specific. Nothing real. more bunk. And maybe most egregiously, and this one, I know many of my colleagues, essentially handing China vital chips necessary for technologies like AI. Where are our China hawks from the Republican side? I hope they're going to speak up and decry this abdication. America is handing out Trump is handing out American-made technology like it's Halloween candy straight into the hands of our biggest rival. In the past, China's been desperate to get this technology, but now they don't have to worry. Trump's just giving it away. With these chips that China now doesn't have and can't make themselves, China will dominate AI in a few years, and it will have severe consequences for America and for the world. When it comes to chips, Donald Trump, it's not America first. For you, it's China first. So you can have some picture that celebrates a so-called agreement that actually hurts us. America will regret the move of sending these chips to China for generations. We will come in second on AI if this continues to happen. They will set the rules of the road. America's greatness will diminish, all because Trump wanted to claim a false victory and brag that he got a deal with Xi. The list of Trump's capitulations to China goes on and on and on. For months, Americans have been taking it on the chin, paying higher prices for everything from appliances to Halloween candy and Halloween costumes because of Trump's disastrous trade policy. And now, looking at this agreement, it only begs the question, what was it all for? Trump had no strategy, no planning, no strategic decision-making, and his bumbling has only emboldened President Xi, who must be laughing all the way back to Beijing. You flatter Trump with a few words, and he gives away things that America desperately needs. When it matters most, when Trump comes face-to-face with autocrats and dictators, the American people know Donald Trump is all talk and no strength. I yield the floor.